The Knicks trading Julius Randle, with the Knicks acquiring Mikal Bridges, and then Brunson re-signing on that contract, the next question that has been circulating is about Julius Randle's future with the Knicks. Because according to the reports, starting tomorrow, Saturday, Julius Randle can add up to $181 million for 4 years added on to his current deal. So this season he has, the fully guaranteed money, whatever. But then next season he has a player option, which I think he might pick up. I think he would pick it up, but so it could be 1 or 2 years. But again, I think he's going to pick it up. So 2 years left on his deal. And now, of course, there are talks and questions about will Julius Randle take less money to stay, because Brunson obviously took, a pay cut as well. And so that has been something that is also circulating. If you remember though, when Julius Randle signed that 4-year extension, I believe he could have gotten more money if he waited a little longer, correct me if I'm wrong. And he chose, getting the money that he was basically guaranteed over the potential to make more. But first, let's go back to the question. Will they trade Julius Randle? Should they trade him? I think the answer is no, they should not trade him. I think people have, obsession is the wrong word, but a fantasy with creating trades all the time. And I get it. We are all NBA fans, and so a lot of us make mock trades in our heads. And there are certain players who get put in that category more than others. One being Miles Turner, who could not get off that trading block for 4 years, even though he never was traded. And Julius Randle has had playoff struggles, which doesn't help his case as to why some people want him to be traded. But I think people are looking at this the wrong way. I understand it was a small sample size, but when OG got there in January and they were all playing, they were 12-2 in the month, cooking everybody, the best defense by far. They were unstoppable, and he was fitting perfectly alongside OG and Brunson. So I really don't understand why people think he can't fit with Brunson. This notion that he's too ball dominant, I feel like that's a misconception. He does like to have the ball. That's not a lie. He obviously likes to have the ball in his hands, and sometimes he holds it too long. But I feel like the longer Brunson was there, the more they were able to figure each other out, how they like to play with each other. And I think also watching the way that they were playing without him during the playoffs and stuff like that, he's going to come back and try to fit in. He's going to do what he does best. But I don't think he's going to be a ball hog. And now with Bridges there, it's just going to open up the floor even more for Julius Randle. You have to think about it from that perspective. People are just looking at it from what Julius Randle has done wrong and what he, struggles with. And I get that. We are not denying the issues that he's had. But now he's playing with 2, not 1, but 2 guys who at some point could be a candidate. And Mikal Bridges, I think, finished 3rd in Defensive Player of the Year a couple years ago. So you have 2 guys who are top tier level defenders. Not to mention, Mitchell Robinson on defense, Josh Hart, forgetting all that. In his starting lineup, he has 2 guys who are going to take the 2 best players on the other team. So that's going to conserve some energy for him. Not only that, but on the offensive side of the ball, Mikal Bridges and OG can score. Are they going to get you 30 a night? No, but they can score. And so the floor is going to be wide open for Julius Randle. He's not going to have to take some of those bad shots that he took. And it's like that with every team. The more talent you get, the harder it is for the defense and the easier it is for you on offense, because the defense cannot leave anybody open. So I actually think we're going to see a lot more of Julius Randle in the paint, which is where he's best at. I actually don't think he's going to be on the perimeter a ton, because they have OG and Mikal Bridges and then obviously Brunson. I do expect him to still take threes, from time to time, but I do think that the amount of threes that he was taking is going to decrease. I think we're going to see him in the paint, bully ball, what he does best, and he's going to get a lot of good looks. And I think, honestly, I don't know if he's going to be their leading scorer, but I would not be surprised if he was. I think Brunson knows what he needs to do to win. We know Brunson doesn't really care about his numbers, so to speak. I think Brunson would be okay with being the second leading scorer on the team, because Julius just backing people down in the paint will end up getting him easy buckets. So I think it's very possible that Julius Randle averages like 25 next season and Brunson averages like 23. And like I said, it's very completely possible that Jalen Brunson averages like 28 again. I wouldn't be surprised. He's capable of that, of course. But I'm saying, you know, I could just see it. Like, if you watch them play when they were together, you know what I'm talking about. I think Julius also gives them an element that they don't have, and that is that bully ball, back you down in the paint. Like, yes, Mitchell Robinson, of course, is in the paint, but he doesn't have the moves that Julius Randle has on the offensive side of the ball. And so I think this gives them an element that they were really missing, especially in the playoffs. So again, no, they should not trade Julius Randle. I think he's going to fit well alongside everybody there. Now, I do think there is a team out there who may want to trade for him. I've seen reports that the Clippers want to add another star. No surprise there because they are trying to win a championship. However, I said this the other day, talking about the Cavs, that the market for stars right now is a little bit thin. One of the players that are available, which I talked about in the video for the Cavs, would be Brandon Ingram, which technically is available for the Clippers too, but I don't think the Clippers have anything that the Pelicans want. I couldn't think of the team for a second. I don't think the Clippers have enough of what the Pelicans would want back for Brandon Ingram. However, for the Knicks, again, I don't think they should trade Julius Randle, but his value is not as high as Brandon Ingram's. So, like, the Clippers could probably figure out a way how to do this and not have to give up too much because they still want to contend, but also be able to get someone like Julius Randle, who has been an all-star multiple times. And while Julius Randle is not the same type of wing player that Paul George is, of course, because Julius is, a 4, Paul George is a 3. They play different styles of basketball, but it definitely gives them another element of a star player, star talent, which is what they really, really want. But I really don't think it makes sense for the Knicks, even if, like, it's not that they can't get good players back from the Clippers, because the Clippers have a ton of talent. That's not the issue. I just feel like the element that Julius brings is really what the Knicks were missing, like, in the playoffs, besides adding Bridges. So, like, there's nobody on the Clippers who's going to do what Julius does. So, like, I feel like it doesn't really make sense for the Knicks.